Alright, I had to mess with my settings a bit, but welcome to this video of low-level Gordovan Gades in Lufia 2 Rise of the Sinistrals. My name is Michel, or Michel Volt if you want to go by my username. This video will be showcasing a fight at the lowest possible party average between the main characters and the first super boss, quote unquote unbeatable boss in the game, Gades, the Sinistral of Destruction. I have no reason to do this other than it being for my entertainment and seeing how low level I could actually do this. Currently, I can do this at a party average level of 13. Before I start with everything, I need to give a shout out to the Lufia 2 Ancient Cave community, notably D. Ellison, Artemis, and Real Critical. They have provided me with a lot of information about the stats, Gades stats, the buff mechanics, basically the min-maxing of it all that they discovered over the years. I doubt I could have done this without them specifically, so thank you, all of you, for that. And of course the rest of the community who has been very supportive of this and have challenged me to do this at this lower level. About 2 or 3 weeks ago I did this run at a level, I think it was level 18 or level 17, and the Ellisons made a joke about saying, now do it at level 16. And I thought to myself, could I do that? And then the more I started thinking, the more I realized, yes, I think I could actually do that. About 14 or 15 years ago, I made a video where I defeated Gades with a party of level 21 and 22. It's an old video I uploaded years and years ago. And around that same time, another player called El Magus, who holds many speedrunning world records, also did the same kind of video. He was a level above my level at that point, but it was generally kind of assumed that level 20-ish would be a limit. Until I stumbled on a video made by a YouTube user called Superboss. He had a party average of 15, but he used a very different approach than I did. And from what I could tell with the first few rounds in that game, it was very manipulated. And he used the statue strategy. He also had a Tia who was level, let's see here. He kept Maxim at level 6, he had Gaia level 11 and Salon at level 16. And he power leveled Tia, which didn't sit right with me. It was not a strategy I felt I could apply because it was very out of my normal strategies. He also relied on statues, which can be bought in the Alunza Kingdom, which heal your entire party for 200. And for no rational reason, I've always despised the use of statues, because I just don't like that item. It's incredibly powerful. It's basically the champion spell early on. It's not something I enjoy. However, that does not take away from the fact that he still beat Gades at level 16 party average. Wait, did I say 15? I meant 15, sorry. He mentioned in his, not in the video, but in his description of the video, that there was a user called Hyperspace on YouTube, and he did it on a party average of 12.5. Now, I've not been able to find that footage anywhere. If someone can find it, please provide me with a link, because I would love to see that video. Now, as I said, the party average, which I'll be talking about in a moment, is level 13. I mean, I'll be talking about the individual stats. The party average is level 13. I accomplished this by keeping Tia at her joining level and keeping Salon at her joining level, so level 7 and 16. This required a great deal of manipulation and save stat abuse. I have no doubt that somewhere someone could do this on console, but there are numerous problems, and I'll be going with them in detail for now until the run actually begins, because it's critical that I mention all of this. Uh, it's critical that people understand that I had to use save stat manipulations to get where I am. This is by no stretch of the imagination something you can just do willy-nilly on console. Several kinds of manipulation had to take place here. For example, I had to manipulate Maxim's health gain. Maxim's health gain is absolutely critical in this entire setup. He needs to have, at least for this attempt, he needed to have above 130 health. And that means that every time he gained a level and it was not 7 or 8 health, I had to restart that fight or that round. Perform different actions until he got the levels that I required him to do. Which is a problem because the game has a mechanic built in, and I'm not sure about the specifics of it, but after X amount of levels, the game averages out your stats, and that's why sometimes you'll see characters who otherwise have massive stat gains suddenly get one stat gain. They get, for example, instead of 15 health, they'll get 5 health and a bit of strength and nothing else. That's the game averaging things out. It does it notably on Guy and Deckar and Tia, but Maxim, even though he's an all-rounder, will still have highs and lows. If you have too many highs, the game will double down on that and give you a lot of lows. Anyway, that's one kind of manipulation I had to apply here. The second one was I had to make sure that Tia would not level. Tia could not gain any sort of level, which means she had to be dead before the end of a boss fight. And I had to make sure that if there were fights where she had to gain XP, that the XP gain was absolutely minimal. There are a few instances where you are forced to go into combat. Almost all of the fights that you are forced to go into combat to, for example, clear a room to advance through the next room. Almost all of those combats include enemies that can run away. So where possible, for example, the kobolds, I think they're called, I had to keep on defending until they would run away so I would not gain XP but still win the fight, for that kind of stuff. So that's it for Tia. Of course, the same applied to Salam. There was one instance during the spider boss where I also had to apply this to Guy, but I'll get to that one later. Let me actually go in order here. As you can see, Tia has the catfish jewel. I wasn't sure if I wanted to manipulate the run to get that jewel. I actually got it out of sheer coincidence, so I didn't have to make that decision. Right now, I'm still not sure if I would have gone for it, but I think I might have, because the catfish jewel is insanely powerful for the Regal Goblin boss fight, which is a rough one. It's a difficult fight at low levels. This has mostly to do with the fact that even in that stage of the game, anything that even remotely looks at Tia can kill her. Regal Goblin is a boss that summons ads, and all those ads are strong. And I needed to keep Tia alive during fight, but before the fight ended, she had to die. I accomplished this by killing the Regal Goblin, and then killing Tia off before the last goblin on the field died. But yeah, there was a whole lot of resetting, manipulating rounds, because I also had to keep in mind of Maxim's health, his health gains for levels, because all the bosses in up to Gades, all the bosses except for Pierre will summon ads. I could not risk having Maxim go too far above his level. because I wanted to keep him as a low as possible level. Regal Goblin, I had to manipulate it with its save stats, as I said before. The followers were not too difficult. I just had to make sure that Tia died before the fight ends, otherwise she will gain levels. In fact, that's the rule of thumb here. Tia needs to be dead before a boss fight ends, otherwise she will gain a lot of levels. I did not want that. Camus was fairly simplistic. I didn't need to manipulate too much other than Maxim's health gain. I could have manipulated the Camus jewel, but I really see no point in getting that. It's not required for this run. There is an item that I did have to manipulate, the B-Rock. I'll get to the reason for that in a moment, but I needed a B-Rock or a spare Eagle Rock. Neither of which, it wouldn't have mattered too much which one I had, but I preferred the B-Rock in this instance. And I believe in hindsight that was probably the better option as well, because of the agility boost it gives. As you can see, Ceylon has the Eagle Rock, and Maxim will have the B-Rock. I'll get to that in a moment. The biggest two hurdles in this game were strangely enough, Gades was not the challenge here. Even though it's a challenge run on low level, the challenge is reaching Gades at those levels. And there are two reasons for that. They are named Tarantula and Pierre. Tarantula, I had to make sure that I manipulated the run, or I had to manipulate the fight to make sure that Guy was dead and Tia were dead, because of the excessive stat gains that, or the excessive experience that you would get. And Guy was a slightly higher level than Maxim at that point, meaning he could go over level. I didn't want that, so Guy had to die before that. I had to make sure that I did not get too much XP, which was, I had to manipulate that. I had to make sure that when Maxim leveled, and he did 3 times in fact, when he leveled, he would not gain terrible stats, which he did on 1 level. And I also had to make sure that the spider boss would not kill me entirely, which that spider boss is notorious for doing. And I had to make sure that he dropped the spider jewel, which is a necessity. I cannot do this fight without the spider jewel, because then you fall into statue territory. I did not want that. So, and then finally, the biggest, absolute monstrous hurdle that required way too many resets. It required way too many round manipulations, is Pierre. Pierre, if some of you will remember, is the split up boss, the clown boss in the treasure shrine. His problem is he has 4 actions that he can take. He has a single target fireball, which is 90 plus damage. At that point, Maxim may or may not live through that. Tia does not. He has a physical attack, which Maxim will survive, Tia will not. He has an all-hitting bolt attack, which kills Fumi, it kills Tia. It doesn't kill Maxim, but he will die if it hits him alone. Which, as some of you familiar with this game will know, magic damage is spread across the amount of targets. If there's 1 target, he'll take full damage. Full damage from Bolt is a death sentence on Maxim. He dies. And the last action he had is that he is checking the situation, where he goes ha ha ha. It took a long time to get past that, but eventually I did. Once you get past him, it's hunting season for Gades. Now, as you can see, the stats that I have here on Tia, nothing that you see here matters for her. The only thing that matters for her right now is her level, being as low as possible, and the bracelet. Bracelet has Ironclad. Ironclad is detrimental to this. Same goes for Salon, with the addition that Salon has higher base health. She has 84 health, which will come into play later. Holy Wings doesn't matter. Red Beret, Muscle Ring, Eagle Rock. Eagle Rock matters because it gives her a plus 15 agility boost. She needs to be above 30 agility. She needs it. There's no going around that. I am not 100% guaranteed that I need Salon for this fight, but she provides with a lot of extra safety, and I'll get to that as well in a moment. And now you have Maxim and Guy stats. These are important. Maxim has the Cold Rapier, which gives him agility, defense. His attack doesn't matter. He has agility and defense, that matters. He has the Chainmail because it's his highest defensive armor. He has the Anger Brace, which gives him the Battle Lust IP. The Jute Helmet was just the best helmet I had at that point. It doesn't matter for this run. The Mind Ring is a must, and the B-Rock is a must. The B-Rock and the Cold Rapier shoot up his agility to plus 70. And this will come into play later. Guy has the Fire Dagger, which he needs for his defense. He has the Camel Armor, which he needs for the healing. The Kite Shield is required for the Fleet IP. Fury Helmet is required for the Menace IP. Speedy Ring is required to put him at plus 30 agility. And the Spider Jewel is required for the Spiderweb IP. As you can tell, Guy is the MVP here. He's the GOAT. Guy is either attacking, he's healing, he's buffing, or he's debuffing. Guy always has something to do. So let's start this matchup. I will leave the stats up for Maxim and for Guy. Maxim is named Volt because his name is Monsieur Volt. And we'll start off, and I'll walk through this a little bit. Mind you, I have to pause it right away, I'm sorry. The only thing that is quote-unquote manipulated here is the start of this fight. The first round, because the first round immediately is decisive on what happens here. And you'll see why in a moment. Everyone has a relatively good amount of IP, and I have 20 regains at this point because I need those. You cannot do this fight without regains. Alright, as you can see, level 7, level 16, 14 and 15. Easy enough. Now what I manipulated here, or rather I reset until I hit this, because this required a lot of resets. Gades can only perform one specific action. If he does anything else, this will require a reset. Gades has two possible actions. He has a strong physical attack, which is single target, and he has a special attack called the Destruction Wave. It's detrimental that his first attack immediately is on Fumi, the capsule monster. A capsule monster is necessary, there's no avoiding that. Because I need that first round to be free. I need Salon and Tia to both be able to use Ironclad on both Maxim and Guy. Ironclad will give them both a plus 40% boost to their defenses, to their physical defenses, which allows them to survive the Destruction Wave a lot safer. A single cast is enough to keep them alive. It's not enough to keep them safe entirely. More on that in a bit. Let's play out the first round. Now this course of action is always the same. Ironclad, Ironclad, you use Spiderweb, and Maxim doesn't have anything better to do, so he'll immediately use Battle Lust on Guy. Better get that out of the way. Reason for this is I have to bank on Gades not attacking anyone in the party. If he attacks Tia or Salon, it's a reset. If he attacks Guy, maybe. It might not be a full reset, but it's dangerous because Guy will take 150, 160 damage. If he attacks Maxim, Maxim's dead immediately. So I have to play it with Ironclad, Ironclad, debuff and above. Now, you'll see something interesting here. Gades attacks Fumi, which is what I hoped for. Battle Lust and Guy. Then we have Ironclad, which is a whopping 56 extra defense. You'll see a number here. 74. This is not a damage number. This is Gades' agility dropping by 40%. Spiderweb is a highly situational weapon that you'll never use in a casual run other than this fight because it has no real utility. Except for this fight and maybe one or two other fights where it's optional. It's broken, and Artemis will die on that hill saying it's fully broken, it shouldn't even exist. I'm not willing to go that far. But yes, it reduces Gades' agility by 74. Because Gades at this point has 184 agility, which is absurd. Now if you look at the stats, Maxim has 70 agility, Guy has 33 agility. I would require to deal... Let's check on my notes here. Gades is required to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 uses of Spiderweb. And Guy will require 2 uses of Fleet, which boosts agility by 40%. If Guy has that Fleet, if Gades is hit by Spiderweb 5 times, which is very doable, it means that Guy and Maxim will both outspeed Gades. This is vital. Guy and Maxim going off before Gades does means that I will always be safe in regards to healing. I know when Guy has to heal extra, I know when Guy has to defend, I know when Maxim has to heal, I know when Maxim has to defend. Ideally, Maxim is in a situation where he never has to defend, because he'll always be good on health. The thing about defending in this game is, and also the front row, back row, I didn't touch upon that, front row users deal more damage and take more damage. That's why the girls are in front, because the devastation wave right now would kill Guy and it would kill Maxim. Back row, they take less damage. I think it's 75%, or they take 20% less damage, something like that. Yeah, and if you defend before an enemy attacks you, that's very, very vital to understand. Defending goes into effect the moment your character defends, not when you click defend on the cursor. If you defend with Guy and Gades has a turn before Guy, Guy will take full damage. End of story. That's why it's vital that Guy goes before Gades as well. Because there will be times when you need to defend before Gades makes his move. But yes. This marks the first stage of the game. I need to debuff Gades, I need to buff Maxim and Guy where possible. I was hoping the second round would have him do a physical on someone, but he doesn't. He will do Devastation Wave, and that's why I'm healing now with Maxim. I could not bank on being lucky 2 rounds in a row. Maxim with the Mind Ring will heal 84 damage on both him and Guy, which, as you noticed, is not enough because Gades still deals a phenomenal amount of damage. So right now I'm in doubt. Do I want to lower his agility? Do I want to use Fleet? Fleet also has another bonus. It increases agility, and agility in turn boosts your defense. Defense in turn means you take less points of damage. 4 defense points reduce 1 point of damage, and I think it takes 3 points of agility to raise 1 point of damage, or to raise 1 point of defense. Since you're looking at single digit health numbers, it matters. This is another interesting point. I opted to use Menace on Guy, and this is very important. There's a lot of misinformation about this. Some people believe that Gades is Destruction Wave is magical. It is not magical. This game is programmed in a very weird way. If you look at the stats, you see two specific statistics. You see ATP, which is attack points, and you see strength. A character's ATP is determined by both their equipment and their raw strength. Gades, his physical attack, is an ATP attack. Menace reduces the ATP of an attack. That 60 damage or 60 points you just saw, that's his raw ATP being reduced. Destruction Wave, on the other hand, is a special physical attack which is not determined by ATP apparently. I'm not sure on the specifics of it, but Menace does not reduce that. It is still a physical attack, so Ironclad does reduce it. The reason I reduce his one single target attack is because it will still deal a tremendous amount of damage to Maxim. It can still do an easy 120 damage on him. Using Menace on him once or twice reduces that to 90 to 100 to 80 to 95. That's necessary. Maxim has a max of 131 health. He needs to take as little damage as possible. If he takes 80-ish damage, then he's safe to go. However, the problem we have right now, as you can see, I can heal both Guy and Maxim with the Mind Ring, which will heal for 84 damage, or 84 health, but I am still at a point where Gades is not really out-damaging Maxim specifically. He is at this point, how should I put this? I'm forced to heal with Guy too much still. If he keeps spamming Destruction Wave, at this point I won't die, but I won't be able to attack. It's a stalemate. I continuously need to heal with Guy every other round. Mind Ring with Maxim, Divine Cure with Guy. So my goal right now is to make sure Gades is slower than Guy by an absolute certainty. As you can see, he is still faster than Guy, but this final spiderweb should be... Right now they're tied. Guy should be around 45-ish agility, and Gades right now is around 55 agility, if my math is correct here. So I need one more spiderweb with him. Yes. Agility is weird in this game. There's a whole formula behind it that I'm not even going to read it. But to sum it up, if you're within a specific amount of agility, if you're within a certain percentage of it, then you're tied up, and it's kind of a luck of the die who goes first. If you're a certain percentage above it, say 5% above your opponent's agility, you're almost guaranteed to go first. And that's why it's so important to go for this even with single digit agility. Right now I'm reaching a point where Guy is guaranteed to be first. However, his damage, Gades' damage is still substantial. So here begins phase 2. Guy is now faster than Gades. Maxim is faster than Gades. Gades still deals a lot of damage. So here comes the next plan. I'm going to revive Salon. And boost her with Fleet. Buffs are permanent during combat. Even if Salon dies, as long as she's buffed with Fleet, she'll keep that agility bonus. Maxim can heal himself, which means Guy can focus on Salon. Now, this is a slow part because Salon will still die to anything Gades hits her with. Or Gades, I should say. So, this is pure RNG. I have to wait here. I have to wait until I'm lucky enough for Gades to use a physical attack on either Maxim or Guy. Both of them can live through that, it's no problem. But it takes time. There's a very good reason for doing this. Yeah, this is very unfortunate. Gades is not a ladies' man. He doesn't take kindly to Salon standing upright, so he slaps her down. What I want to do here is I want to revive Salon, cast Fleet on her, and keep her alive till the next round. If I can make that happen, if she is revived and lives through the next round, it means she can defend. She is effectively faster than Gades the moment she gets a single fleet on her. As I said, if you defend, you take half damage. So what I want to do is revive her, cast fleet on her, and then have her in the back row and defend. That way, she'll gain IP and live. With her IP, she can use Ironclad on Maxim and Guy a second time. Which, I'm not looking back on the footage, I'm not entirely sure it's necessary, but it speeds up the process a little bit. The thing to keep in mind here is never assume you've seen Gades' highest damage roll. Assume you never see it, because the moment you assume you have seen it, I guarantee it, he'll slap you down. He'll hit you with something higher. It's better to play it safe, despite my own personal stupidity, where I don't play it safe later in this fight. This was a bit of a safety thing. I wanted to make sure the max amount of damage Volt takes, or Maxim takes, was slightly lower. Because I've seen him take plus 100 damage and I did not want that. And even a little bit of fleet works. My mistake here is this specific setup. What I could do is, right now Guy and Maxim are both full health, or close to full health. What I should do, and have done later, is have Maxim use a revive on Salon, and then have Guy use fleet on her to speed it up. This is my error. And it wasn't until much later that I realized, hey, I can do this differently. In fact, I think, no, it's still later. It didn't occur to me until later, and I've done this fight several times. I don't know why it didn't occur to me before. Because you're relying on the luck of the draw right now for Salon to live. But there isn't that much happening right now. Because this run I was very unfortunate with Salon staying alive. And here you go again, because Maxim and Guy are kind of on a low health threshold. I needed to go for a double heal. See, he still deals 110 damage to Guy in the back row. Still close to 100 on Maxim. That needs to be toned down. Again, I'm not 100% convinced that I do need this. I was just a bit annoyed at that point. However, you can see a physical attack from Gades still deals 111 damage to Volt. He was almost full health and still nearly died. So the extra Ironclad will absolutely help me, and I cannot say for certainty that was a high damage roll. For all I know, he could roll 10 points higher, in which case Maxim would be dead. I could still win the fight, because then I'd have to use a miracle to revive him, but it's not what I want to see. But yes, I dragged this out far longer than I really had to. I could have done this a lot faster. Like, I could have easily cut 5 minutes off of this fight just by being smarter. Yes, here we go. I believe, yeah, this is it. What happens now? I put Guy in the front row. Guy will just fleet on Salon, Salon defense, and Guy gets a full single target heal, which heals him up to full. Fleet on Salon. Salon is still not fast enough, I think. and she's very unfortunate. I have to put Guy in the back row, I have to play it safe. I have to revive Salon. And here is where I realize I could do this differently. I can just regain Salon with Maxim because he's almost full health. And then use Fleet on Salon. Now, mind you, she still needs to survive. Since I know she's faster than Gades at this point, I can just Battle Lust Guy. Make sure that once the next phase starts, he can just wail on Gades. As you can tell, Gades was not being nice. He really wasn't. He knew what was going to happen, and he's like, nope, we gotta slap this danger down. And I cannot stress enough how important Ironclad is, because I'm playing it very safe here. Maybe I could have gone for 1 or 2 extra attacks, but it's playing with fire. I'm using Menace on him just to make sure his physical attack is lowered. Also because I'm terrible at keeping track of stats. But now I know for a fact that his physical attack will never deal more than 100 damage on Maxim or Guy. This was a high roll, 100 plus damage on both Maxim, on both Guy. I need Ironclad at this point. Alright, so now I can revive Salon once again. I decided to play it safe and not use the IP because single target normal heal is enough to keep Guy out of death range. Especially with that Menace. Now I know for a fact I'm good to go. I can use Fire Dagger, Salon Defense, and single target stronger heal on Guy. This marks the start of the next phase. Beautiful 390 damage. And this is also fine. I can just keep using blaze attacks. I can use stronger on him. Incidentally, this is also the only way Gades can break this loop. If he were to use single target attacks non-stop on Guy, he would win. Because simply put, Maxim's normal spell is not enough to mitigate that damage. It's not. I could use the occasional heal with Guy, but eventually Maxim's IP will run out. Eventually, his magic will run out. He's at a low level. He has 58 magic points, which is, I want to say, 18 heals. You blast through that pretty fast. Here, I decided to revive Salon again. She got off Ironclad once. I want to get it off one final time. Also because I'm a bit stubborn on that. But I wanted to make sure I finish this fight. As you can see, Guy still takes a lot of damage that I was not happy with. Divine Cure. But we are marking the setup for the next phase. I need Salon to survive one more attack and use Ironclad one more time. Once that's over, we're good to go. Because the difference is using Guy's healing every 2 turns to every 4 turns-ish. There we go. And now we're good. Salon goes back row. Guy can start his attack again. Full heal on Guy. Boom. Blaze attack, 400 damage. Gades has 7,500 health. Guy is already knocked off close to 1,000. So what we do here, I could potentially stay there. Which, I'm actually doing that. I'm not healing Salon. Salon will be healed by Camus armor. And honestly, she will still not survive anything. Divine Cure is a set amount that heals. And now Guy has double ironclad, Maxim has double ironclad. It's go time. Gades is going down. Playing a bit safe with back row attacks. I'll switch it up a bit. Whenever Guy's full health, I'll put him in front row. If he's not full health, I'll put him in the back row. For example, I can put... if I don't have anything to do with Guy, I'll just have him do a normal attack. I may show in the occasional regain on Maxim or himself to heal him. Yeah, even 77 is still... it adds up over time. Here we go. We can do a blaze attack. One of the things I didn't know until I became part of the Ancient Cave community, the way you gain IP is also interesting. If your character has 300 health and you take 200 health damage, you'll gain less IP than you would if you're at 250 health and you take 200 damage. The game takes into consideration your missing percentage of health. And the more percentage of health you're missing when you take damage, the more IP you gain. So there's also a reason I don't always heal Guy up to full health. Admittedly, it's a bit playing with fire, but Gades still got off a high roll for 100 damage on Maxim and Guy. This had me questioning if I should bring back Salon or not. I decided not to because this had to be a higher end roll on his part. And at this point, Guy is just having a blast. He's like, okay, going for a blaze attack, throwing a Divine Cure, another blaze attack. I know Gades deals a max of 100 damage. I know Maxim will be at 100 plus health. I know Gades will not deal over 100 plus damage, except for his physical attack, which I did not expect here. As you can see, I'm backtracking a bit. I'm full healing Guy, because I'm not sure what's going to happen. There we go. Keep in mind, Maxim has more fleet on him, he has more agility, so his defense is kind of on par with Guy. Despite having, or actually he has more defense in general than Guy, because he already had 8 points of base defense higher. And this is just me being concerned over that physical attack dealing more damage than I thought, so one extra menace just for safety. But we're at a point where I know I've won this. All I have to do right now is just play it safe, beat him down. Play it safe, beat him down. Heal when needed, attack when I can. Even if Gades deals 100 plus damage, he will not exceed 110 damage. He is no longer able to do that. I know I said don't expect you've seen his highest number, but I can safely say he will not break 110 damage at this point. And I know Maxim will heal a set 84 damage. I know Guy will heal a set, 44 damage. Knowing what they both heal up means I can predict where I am in the safe zone. I know, for example, right now, Guy is not in the safe zone. I'm playing with fire here. I was very much playing with fire, and that's why the extra menace is also useful, because there is a good chance he would not have survived that. However, he does. He's full IP again. He's now full health. Blaze attack away. Now, the reason I said Battle Lust isn't required, there's a simple reason for that. Battle Lust increases your attack damage by 40%, your ATP. Blaze attack triples your normal damage output. So yeah, you can easily do the math on that. Like you double your ATP, you triple damage your attack. Normal attack is 90 damage, his triple damage is, it can break 400 damage. If you don't use Battle Lust, you will do at least 34 blaze attacks before you kill him. Using Battle Lust, you can kill him by around 20 blaze attacks, if you're lucky. And it's just, yeah, you just kind of want to speed it up and while also playing it safe. But you are at a point where Battle Lust is not required, but the only other alternative that Maxim has is using a kite shield for fleet. You don't need 2 fleet users at this point, so you might as well give him the anger brace. You could potentially also give it to Guy. However, I don't like it being on Guy. I'm actually blanking right now. There was a reason I didn't want it on Guy. But there was a reason I put it on Maxim as well. As you can see, I move Guy back to the back row right now. Because he took a lot of damage front row. He deals a lot of damage front row. But I still have to play it safe. I'm at a stage where this fight is mine to lose. And make no mistake, I'm low level. Gades can and will punish me if I mess this up too much. But yes, as I said, it's mine to lose. Right now, I believe I've had 8 blaze attacks, maybe? I'm at roughly a third of the fight in. But yeah, front row Guy is doing a minimum of 350 damage. This was a low roll, so I can actually keep him there. I can heal him up, I can heal up Maxim. And whatever the next attack is, if it hits Guy, I know I'll be full IP for another blaze attack. And since I'm full health as well, I know I can just heal with Maxim and use a blaze attack with Guy in the front row. Next turn, however, if he uses another destruction wave, I will have to move Guy back to the back row. But he doesn't, he uses a physical attack, which means I can single target heal him. And I can use another blaze attack. This is why Guy is kind of the MVP. He has such a high base health, even at his joining level, at level 11, he'll have 148 health. He will survive anything this Gades has to throw at him, as long as he's properly buffed. And that's also the reason I believe I could theoretically do this at a party average of 12 or even 11.5. I don't know if I'll be trying that in the foreseeable future. But I know I could maybe theoretically cut down 1 or 2 levels off of Maxim and cut off 1 or 2 levels off of Guy. However, this is theoretical, and the problem I have here is I could get Maxim 2 levels lower. That's not a problem. Getting Guy 2 levels lower though is very difficult to do because he will level up against the Pierre fight. I think. I haven't actually checked up on that, but I don't know if I could legitimately do that. Guy at level 12 should be doable. Level 11, I don't know. But yeah, this is just, at this point, it's just waiting. It's waiting for me to kill off Gades. And yeah, he should be dead relatively soon. I think he's actually dead within a minute from now-ish. Looking at the timestamp. Yeah, I think this actually kills him. this does or the next round does. I have it marked for that at, yeah, this. Yep, and that's it. That concludes the level 13 party average defeat of Gordovan Gades, which honestly, if you told me I would be doing this a month ago, I would have told you you're crazy. It is insane that this is possible, considering casually most people think you need to be level 30 plus to defeat him, or that you're not able to defeat him at all. There's a lot of misinformation about Gades. A few very, very poorly, terrible Lufia 2 walkthroughs come to mind. I won't name the user, but there are boss guides in Dutch and in English stating it's impossible to defeat him. It's impossible because he hits too hard and you can't survive anything and you don't deal enough damage. It's garbage. The guy was old, but even back then it ignored a lot of common knowledge. As you can see, I'm getting a lot of levels now. You'll see some high stats, some low stats. It doesn't really matter at this point. But yeah, I did this for the sole reason because it amused me. There is nothing really... There are no other reasons other than this. I did this on an emulator. I can't really name the... I think I did this on SNES 156. I will actually have to check this. Oh, oops. Yep, no. Video is already over, so it doesn't matter. Yes, I will actually check what thing I used. I used SNES 9X 64-bit to play this. And let me actually look up the version of it. If I actually can, because that would be nice. Whoop-de-doo. SNES 9X version 1.6. That's this version. Mind you, I am allowed to play an emulator and this ROM because I own the legitimate game. Yada yada yada, emulators, backups, you know the drill. But yes, I hope you all enjoyed watching this video. I had a lot of fun making it. I had less fun putting together this video because I'm not used to talking this much and I'm terrible at video editing as per my beautiful skills here. Anyway, I hope this inspires people to try it at even lower levels, or maybe you just had a good time. And I am truly hoping that if you have an interest in running Lufia 2 Ancient Caves, whatever, you will be joining our Discord. It's a very welcoming Discord, Ancient Cave community. We welcome anyone new, and we have a lot of information regarding the game available to us. All kinds of information that hasn't been public knowledge until actually as brief as a few months ago. We have a lot of people working a lot on decoding everything, trying to understand the mechanics of this game, because honestly it is a nightmare to even understand for casual players such as myself. In any case, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you all have a wonderful day, and please take care, and maybe see you next time. Goodbye.